We'll get you the mic. We'll get you the mic, Kirsten. Hold on a second. We'll get started with Dave. We'll start with Kirsten down in front.
Apologies. That was wrong understanding.
Yeah.
Dave, when you think about just game one of the NLDS, how excited are you for this matchup, this game, and what are you looking forward to seeing from your guys?
Very excited. It seems like it's been a while. I think guys are really, ready to kind of rip the seams and just kind of get to playing baseball again. I think for me, I'm just looking for to throw the first punch. I'm expecting a very lively crowd, and I'm expecting us to be ready for a fight. And I think that's that's obviously in the context of playing a baseball game, but that's kind of the mindset that I expect from our guys.
You guys have obviously seen Dylan Cease very recently. When you think about just how you want to attack him, what did you like from the quality of at-bats from the last series, and how do you hope to see your guys kind of have maybe a similar one or of sorts for today?
I like the at-bats. It's really big stuff. It's a high-velocity fastball. He can spin the baseball. I thought we got the pitch count up. I think for us, it's kind of scare him out of the strike zone. And I think that if we do that, it'll bode well for us. I don't think we can just sit back on our heels. But I think that the at-bats that we took, we can continue that. I think we'll fare pretty well.
Fabian up in the front.
Hey, Dave, is Freddie in there today?
We're seeing. He's still going through treatment. I haven't posted the lineup yet, so we're still in a wait and see mode. I'm still hopeful, maybe not as hopeful as I was yesterday.
If he is in there, is there anything you guys are going to have to do defensively to compensate maybe for lacking mobility for him, or be more conscious, maybe bump plays, stuff like that, stuff in his direction?
I think there might be a little bit of hedging as far as on the positioning side, if he's in there, as far as playing how far in the hole can he play, potential bunt situation, do we got to give up more on the depth piece? So I would say yeah.
And then what went into some maybe the roster decisions, especially no Joe Kelly, and then having Grove and Enriquez on there?
So the Joe Kelly, his last pitch in his simulated game, throwing a change-up, he felt something in his shoulder, and so that kind of put him out of the conversation. And so that was really disappointing, obviously, for Joe. So he's just not even viable, being such a big piece of this and what he's done in past postseason. So that's Joe. A week ago, whatever it was, Brewstar went down with the same shoulder situation. So that sort of Honeywell is not available until Game 5. So kind of that left Michael and Henriquez in play.
David standing up in the back.
Just to follow up on Freddie, if he's not able to be in the starting lineup, are you still considering Muncy or Kike to play there?
If Freddie's not in the lineup, we'll have Muncy at first base and Kike will be at third.
And as far as the roster, I know Kershaw has been continuing to keep his arm going, and I know this round was out of the question, but are you closing the door on him possibly being available for the NLCS if you make it?
No, we're not. We're closing the door. Clayton's done everything he can to keep this thing moving forward and giving himself a chance to participate in the postseason. But, where he's at right now physically, the foot, the toe just is not cooperating and is actually, getting worse. So, yeah, this is it for Clayton for 2024.
Juan.
Dave, with Freddie, you guys were pretty optimistic. He was pretty optimistic yesterday. Did something happen yesterday? Did anything kind of change?
It's just I talked to him this morning, and there was still some soreness, and so we're trying to weigh the fact of being in there versus how effective he can be. Nothing. It's just more of kind of how he's feeling. So, again, that's why I'm trying to wait as long as I can to see and go through his pre-workout and pre-game stuff.
Doc, when Freddie says he's trying to come back in a week from a 4 to 6 week rehab on an injury, how concerned does that make you that, probably not a great idea to play this guy right now?
Yeah, that's why I think that there's a lot of hesitation, because it is a couple week thing for sure, a few week thing. With him, obviously he's determined and wants to exhaust every potential possibility for him to play. So those are things, Barry, you got to weigh the fact that, penciling in the name Freddie Freeman versus how, effective he can be right now and the cost of ensuing games. So those are things that we're talking about, obviously, with the training stuff, absolutely.
Yeah, and also you don't want to make the injury any worse than it already is, too.
Correct.
So have you had a season, I know there have been crazy ones with injuries, but have you had a season where there's been more recurring injuries to the same players as this one?
Just injuries in totality, never seen anything like this. Just kind of overall, I don't know exactly as far as kind of the recurring, but it's been a crazy one for sure.
Stay here in the front.
With Yamamoto, Dave, I know obviously with his availability for Game 5, part of the reason he's throwing in Game 1, but you guys wouldn't have done that if you didn't think he could handle taking the ball in Game 1. What else is it about him that you believe he's ready for that?
I think that was part of the math. The other part is we just feel that he's got the pedigree. He's got the stuff. I think he's got the heartbeat. He has pitched in huge ball games, and it's all relative to where you are in life and your career. And so relative to that, he's pitched in huge baseball games, and he's done nothing but perform. And so I think with just knowing the makeup of the player, the skill set of the stuff, we just feel he's certainly a very viable number one.
Maria?
Yep. And Dave, just to clarify on Joe Kelly, would he be available for the next round or?
I don't think Joe would be available for the next round. I think if we were fortunate enough to get to the World Series, I think that would be the first conversation.
Jack, over here on the right.
Dave, when you talk about throwing the first punch, does it feel like obviously this is an important thing in any postseason series, but just getting ahead and playing with the lead in this matchup with how good both teams' bullpens are, does that feel like an especially big key this week?
It does. It's not, the end-all, be-all, but, catching a lead certainly increases winning percentage. I just think that coming into this series, again, a team that's already played in a postseason environment, we have to match that intensity from the outset. And so that's why I kind of use the analogy of throwing the first punch, be ready to fight. I think we've got to make sure that we get up to speed, from pitch one.
And then when you look at the bullpen, how good of an idea for ninth inning situations do you have? Is it going to be kind of the way you guys played it out at the end of the season where it's more matchup based, or is Kopech or somebody else kind of a more specific option for a potential save situation?
I would say it's more matchup based. I think that what we've done a good job is we've got, probably on our roster, there's 5 or 6 guys that have got a save maybe in this season. So I feel very comfortable. They've all pitched in leverage, whether it be the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, or the 9th. So I think that, whatever pitcher I feel is best in that particular part of the game, part of the lineup, that's what I'm going to use.
Eric?
Dave, what about Miguel Rojas? Is he in the lineup today?
He's in the lineup today, and he's in the lineup, yes. And, the week helped him. He feels good. He feels good. So it's what it is, and he's, like I said before, he wasn't going to miss this one.
I know we talked before the MRI results came out that showed the tear, that he's been dealing with that for a while, but do you think it was that severe, what he's been dealing with, or is it just kind of? It's
somewhat severe. I think that where we're at right now is where we've been all year with him. So he hasn't played at 100% essentially all year. And so I think that's where he's at right now, and we're good with that.
And we'll finish up with Kirsten in the front.
Just quickly going back to Yoshinobu, do you feel good just in regard to his build-up stress of the innings, just considering only 4 starts coming off the IL, preparing for this outing?
I do. And I think, with the postseason, I think every pitcher, in the postseason, especially our guys, know that you just go as hard as you can for as long as you can. get as many outs as you can. And so as far as the build-up, I think that what we've done is certainly adequate to kind of put us in a good spot to win a ball game.
All right, thanks, Dave. We'll see you
Thanks,
both.
guys. Yep.